it has been tested in those times.
Yeah.
And our society was highly evolved in each and every aspect. Therefore, I have mentioned about the Ram Raj also. What is Ram Raj? Where nobody is poor, everybody has a prosperity. Second, law and order is maintained. Everybody is educated. There is no thief. And health system is so well that infant mortality rate on widows are not happening. Everybody is looked after. This is the Ram Raj. Any society, not only Hindu, any society, anywhere in the world can apply this sutra that will make the society, country better.
Namaste to everyone. Today at Sangam Talks, we have with us Swami Vigyananand ji. Swamiji is the Joint General Secretary of Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the Chairman and Founder of World Hindu Foundation, which organizes the World Hindu Congress. Swamiji's upcoming book is titled The Hindu Manifesto, and today he is here with us at the Sangam Talks. Welcome, Swamiji.
Namaste.
And it was great to listen about your new book, The Hindu Manifesto. And listening to the title itself, it sounds very unique because the title says a lot of things that needs to be followed as such. So what are your opening remarks about your book?
See, जब मैं गुरुकुल में पढ़ रहा था, संस्कृत पढ़ रहा था, तो मैं शास्त्रों को जब पढ़ा तो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि शास्त्रों में जो ज्ञान है हर विषय में, मैं केवल अध्यात्म की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ. जनरली इंप्रेशन क्या है कि हिंदू केवल अध्यात्म की बात करता है, मोक्ष की बात करता है, फिलॉसफी की बात करता है. तो उसमें जो ज्ञान पड़ा था वो हर जो आज के ज़माने में बहुत कंटेम्पररी रिलेवेंट है हर फील्ड में, चाहे इकोनॉमी हो, एजुकेशन हो, डिफेंस हो, सिक्योरिटी हो, पॉलिटिक्स हो, डेमोक्रेसी हो, वीमेन हो, सोशल सिस्टम हो, नेचर हो, हर विषय पर पर्याप्त सामग्री बहुत ही अच्छे तरीके से थी. See, when I was doing my study at Gurukul about our Shastra, then I understand the knowledge contained in the Shastra is very contemporary, very relevant to the modern society. Either you can talk about economy, education, defense, security, politics, democracy, everything was very relevant. So it was in my mind that time will come, I will write a book on this subject. But again, when doing a study in Gurukul, I realized that Rishi has a one tradition. They used to write those days, that is in sutra style, sloka style. In sutra style means in a small sutra, major knowledge is contained. So what I did, I identified 8 sutra from the Shastra, and those sutra divided in 2 groups. First 4 sutra is a foundation sutra, and last 4 sutra is civilization sutra, First 4 sutra is Dharmasya Moolam Artha, which I translated in English, prosperity for all. Whole idea is this: Hindu thought want everybody should be prosperous. We don't want people to be poor, And in our thought process, we have never condemned poverty, but we have never celebrated poverty, So first sutra is on that. Second sutra is Satrun Jaya Praja Raksha. Once you have economy, then you need to protect your boundary, protect your country and protect your citizen. So sutra is Satrun Jaya Praja Raksha. Defeating enemy, defending citizen. Means your defense should be capable of defeating the enemy, not only just defending the enemy. Defending the citizen comes second. First is defeating the enemy. Third part is Nasti Vidya Samam Chakshu. Again, it is from Mahabharata, quality education for all. It provides that every education should be affordable, quality education available to everybody, Fourth sutra is very interesting. I will tell you the background. Is Avishrama Lok Tantra Adhikara from Shakuntalam, Abhigyan Shakuntalam, How this sutra has come, the discussion point, when Gautami, the wife of Kanva Rishi and some of the brahmachari took Shakuntala to the Dushyant Darbara palace, The moment they reached to the palace, or the court was over. Means the running court of Dushyant was over. Dushyant went to just rest. So Kanchuki, or you can say receptionist, replied, "No, you came just now, then the court is over. Court is over now. King has gone for rest." But again, same Kanchuki is telling, Avishram Loktantra Adhikar, this is your right. In a lokari, in a public service, king has no rest, he will come back.
Come back, yes.
He will come immediately, So that is the thing. So I put it there. Our democracy is not like a Western democracy. Just you are elected for 5 years, 4 years, and you can loot and plunder and exploit the society. Always you are accountable and responsible.
Responsible.
So this is responsible democracy. So these are the 4 foundational sutras. So any society, not only Hindu, any society, anywhere in the world, can apply this sutra that will make the society, country better. Then after four foundational sutra, after 4 sutra is civilization sutra. First sutra is Agra Eti Uiti Haryana from Rigveda, means highest respect for women. How you measure a civilization? How you treat your women, that is mentioned there, all from the Shastra. 6th sutra is Ek Varnas Tada Lokya, non-discriminatory social system, It is again from the Mahabharata, This is discussion happening between Nahush and Yudhishthira. From there is mentioned there was a time, there was a Varna system in our, in Adikal, there was no Varna system and Jati system. Now there is Jati Varna system now. But in future there will be no Jati Varna system. So on that basis, I wrote that chapter. 7th sutra is from Shanti Mantra Yajurveda, Sarvam Shanti, care for nature, And 8th sutra is from Atharvaveda, Mata Bhumi, Putroham Pratibha, Mata Bhumi, respect for the land, means patriotism. So this is how the book is structured like that,
That's very interesting, Swamiji. Swamiji, today when we see the Indian education system, we have methodology and framework that is largely borrowed from the Western nomenclatures. So at this instance, how important it is to get back to our Hindu Shastras or Hindu scriptures and take the gem values systems from our Shastras, and how do we imbibe it into the modern academic situation?
See, here I will tell you, the problem is that all the knowledge is contained in the Shastra, which is relevant to the modern, and the Western fellows are teaching indirectly, directly, putting as a methodology, Unfortunately, what is happening, we are teaching just like a philosophy, If you see, there is a methodology. In our Shastra, in Vyakran, of Panini, there is a methodology. In our Sahitya, there is a methodology. In our Nyaya, there is a methodology. In Vedanta and Mimamsa, there is a methodology. These are all methodology. What is needed now to understand those methodology and to understand those methodology and bring those methodology to practice in our syllabus and teach them as a theory, as a methodology to the modern student in you can undergraduation, post-graduation, on PhD. That is very important, And coming to this is the whole purpose of the book, If you talk about the Dharma Samula Martha, prosperity for all. First, I put up how our ancestor has given importance to the wealth creation, Why wealth creation is important, Then for wealth creation, what is important? First, a state policy framework is important. Law and order is important. Third, you need to respect the wealth creator, You need to respect and protect the wealth creator. You need to respect the farmer, And at one place it mentions Gomino Dhaninaschi Paripalya, A state should look after the wealth creator, means businessman, industry or entrepreneur and farmer. Sometimes when they are in distress, a state need to support them. And vice versa. When sometimes a state is in distress, these people, society need to also support them. Even in international trade is mentioned. When something which is not in your country, you should import and given the relaxed taxation system. And on the taxation, I will tell you very important, This is, I am talking about the 5,000 years ago. First consider, cost of the material, cost of transportation, manufacturing cost, use of technology. sale of the product, and considering these, how businessmen will survive. Consider all these factors, then taxes should be imposed.
Okay.
So you can see this is how elaborate. At one place, in the same they have written, this is from the Shastra. Sattvam hi moolam arthasya, Sattvam hi moolam arthasya. How you create wealth, and for what is important, Sattvam means courage. Risk-taking capability is the source of wealth creation, This is what is written in the modern economics, At one place, Lakshmi herself is telling, Na akarmani bashami, those who are lazy fellow, alsi fellow, I don't dwell in there, Means for economy and wealth creation, you need to do the hard work, And agriculture at one place, agriculture should not be dependent on the rain. So you need to create water tank, big, small talab, reservoir, so that agriculture is protected, taken care, because water is very important. So these are the things written there, And this is how I present it in the book. The purpose of this book is, and finally, what they are talking, what is the whole purpose of the wealth creation? Purpose of the wealth creation, two things. As per dharma, create wealth.
Yeah.
As per dharma, fulfill your desire. Then moksha is byproduct.
Moksha is byproduct, yeah.
Therefore, it is called Trivarga, Dharma, Artha, Kama. Moksha is not in Trivarga. Moksha is a byproduct, At one place, which I mentioned, what is the aim of the whole wealth creation, Which I call the Hindu philosophy of wealth creation. Aim of the wealth creation. Satahasta Samahara Sahastra Hasta Sankira. Create wealth with 100 hands, serve with 1,000 hands. In many places, people ask me, when I was in Bangkok in one of the conferences, they asked me, what is the difference between Hindu philosophy and other philosophy of wealth creation? I told, capitalistic philosophy only talk about the creation of wealth, but they talk about accumulation of wealth. They don't talk about sharing of the wealth. Socialistic principle only talk about this distribution of wealth, Hindu philosophy first talk creation of wealth and then sharing of the wealth. Means create wealth with 100 hands, share with 1,000 hands. That is the whole principle,
Okay. Swamiji, when you quoted 8 sutras, which transforms into the 8 manifestos of the book. So could you give it a framework by comparing it with dharma, artha and kama? Because all our engagements in the Hindu philosophy is for the realization of dharma, though the process could be different. So how would you see the sutras? Since you said the first 4 sutras have
foundational
sutras, how do you link that with dharma and the next 4 with artha?
See, therefore I told you the first sutra talk about dharma similar to economy, economy with the wealth, dharma, economy is rooted in the dharma, and they are not separate from the dharma.
Yeah.
Economy is not separate from the dharma. So first comes dharma with artha. And talking about the education is also part of dharma. That is very important part, What is happening, present time, we are not educating people. We are giving information. So our is vidya. Our is vidya. Knowledge with the value. Knowledge with the sanskara. Therefore, in Shastra says, Chaturbhi prakare vidya upyukta bhavati. Knowledge is gained from the 4 types, First, learn from your teacher, Agam Kalena. That is called Agam Kalena. Then Swadhyaya, self-learning. Again, third is teaching. Then 4th is a practice. Then you will learn. So again, it is part of dharma. On teaching, that time they told, this is 5,000 years ago. Minimum 30 years you should study. Or they say at least 25 years you should study. If you are not able to study 25 years, half of that, 12 and a half years. But they say minimum 6.5 years you must study. That is how our educational framework is deeply rooted in Vidya. Then third is coming to the politics, Politics is also based on dharma, and our Acharya said politics is the biggest dharma, Raj Dharma, At Mahabharata, Sarve Vidya Raj Dharma Shukta, Sarve Loka Raj Dharma Srupurushta, Sarve Dharma Raj Dharma Pradhanatha, Sarve Pada Hasti Padini Magna. Ki all the knowledge of the world is intertwined with the knowledge of the politics. Without the knowledge of politics, all the knowledge is incomplete. Sarve Vidya Rajadharmeshu. Sarve Loka Rajadharmeshu Pravistha. This Rajadharma has entered in all the places, every places, no? Sarve Loka Rajadharme Pradhana. This Rajadharma is dominating dharma. It controls, regulate, monitor all other dharma. Sarve Dharma Rajadharma Pradhana. Yatha Sarve Pada Hasti Pade Nigmada. Like elephant feet, all the legs is, so it control, regulate, monitor all the dharma. Therefore, it is supreme dharma. And here I have mentioned in my book, here we must remember, we have to come out from this mantra syndrome, you know. What is mantra syndrome? Mantra wrote in about mantra, Tulsidas Ramayana, Tulsidas is writing. There is an incident that when the Bhagwan Ram Rajyabhisek was declared, and this news was given to Kaikeyi by mantra.
Okay.
On Bhagwan Ram Rajyabhisek will be happening. Kaikeyi, like any other mother, happily she removed her, bangle, gold bangle, and you gave me a good news. She told, you don't understand, whoever will become king, or prince, like Rama Bharat is not going to change my status.
Yeah.
I will remain a servant, Dasi. So I always tell we have to overcome this mantra syndrome. We have to follow our Shastra, that is Mahabharata, Sarve Vidya Rajadharme Shukta. We Hindus should become master of this art, Therefore you can say many countries, many places, we are significant number, but we are not in decision making. And in Bharat, many places you can say, we are practicing people, going temple, doing puja, but anti-Hindu fellows are ruling the states,
Yeah.
This is all because we are not politically aware of that,
Right. So since you said, talk about politics, beyond Bharat, we have a multipolar world. And how do you see the Hindu manifesto being accepted by the world? And how do you see it as a global framework for humanity?
Yeah. See, in the fourth chapter, fourth sutra, Avishram Loktantra Dika, which I mentioned, first I mentioned the importance of politics. How politics is important, how politics is supreme, how politics regulate, monitor, control everything. Second, I have mentioned head of a state, election of the head of a state, is mentioned there,
Okay.
And quality of the head of a state, quality of
Head of
a state, quality of ministers. These are all given there, And those who are not qualified to be minister, they should not be the minister. That also I have mentioned in there, And more important, Republican state, is also mentioned. Ganasangha, in Ganasangha, and our framework is all democracy. Not only democracy, Republican, where each and everybody takes part in the decision making. So Ganasangha is also mentioned, very elaborate mention. And all those framework is useful for modern time. Better, the references which I have given is better than any modern democracy anywhere in the world. If present society apply those principles, then the political system will be much better.
Because it is holistic.
Yeah, holistic.